Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back into another edition of Astros Recap on a Wednesday. Not my usual time. Back at the house here. It's 2:22 p.m., July 17th, 2024. So I've actually been pushing this back real quick before I get to anything else. Fan, back here, blowing on me. Mike, I tested this like 5 times. Nothing seemed to work exactly the way I wanted here, so hopefully this works well enough. But every week there's an issue. Again, lighting to my right now, I think it's a little bit better this way. So we're going to continue to do this. I did this last week, I believe, as well. Whenever I talked to you last week, at some point. Anyway, yeah, light to the right there. Well, last week I actually talked to you at the radio station, so lighting's pretty okay there, not bad. But I just think it's better if I put it, instead of behind me like usual, it's off to the side. So, yeah, lighting, mic, hopefully things sound well enough for you to listen. But, yeah, I've been putting this podcast off. I could have done it Sunday at the radio station, didn't. Then I decided I was going to do it Monday after I ran some errands, didn't. And then I was going to do it yesterday after work. Now, work took longer than expected, so I was going to push it to tomorrow night, and I didn't. So I'm here Wednesday, but not bad because now the All-Star Game festivities are all over, and I'll give you my take on those as well. But first, the Astros, another, well, you look at the week, they went 4-2. The sweep of the Marlins helped out quite a bit, but losing 2-3 to Texas was not good. So they won their first 4 games, and that sweep was actually pretty. Just got a text here, but last week after losing on Saturday and Sunday to the Twins, it was good to get that sweep against the Marlins to get the record back up to where it was. But again, 4-2 week, I can't be too upset. It's just it kind of stinks because you really had a chance to go 5-1 if you just won, one of those last 2 games and weren't able to do it. Texas, sort of, they had been free falling for a while. They did win 2 or 3 against the Angels before they came to Houston, so they took their final 2 series, which good for them. The Astros still hold a 4-game lead. But that season series against Texas now is at 5-5. So one more series in about a little less than 3 weeks away. Kind of weird. They'll finish up with the Rangers. 3-game series coming up in about 2.5 weeks. That's in early August, and then you don't see them for the next 2 months. So we'll wrap things up pretty quickly there, hopefully. But that series will be big. You still hold a 4-game lead that could easily be, extended. You could go up even bigger if you can beat Seattle here, or, if Texas gets hot, I think they're going to get healthier. They already have Max Scherzer back. If Jacob deGrom comes back, that's a big addition. Now, it's always a crapshoot whether he's healthy or not, and after being out and having Tommy John like he did, it's interesting to see whether. Just noticed a crack on my phone here, so I'm looking at that. But it's always interesting how good will he be after Tommy John. So, but I've been saying for a while, Jacob deGrom, when healthy, is the best pitcher in baseball. When healthy, that's the big thing. When healthy, if and when he's healthy. So, anyway, so the Rangers sort of did enough of the final week there to at least give themselves a fighting chance. They're still back in the division 5 games. It's not insurmountable, but they did gain some ground because Seattle's been free falling, and the Astros, even losing 2 or 3, I still think gained a game, or I think they kept what they had, but Seattle just lost 3 or 4 to the Angels. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, the Astros could have played better. They did get Jake Bloss back. He started Thursday. I actually want to look at him just a little closer. There's one guy I wanted to key in on a little bit this week because, again, he only got 1 start a while back against the Orioles. Only pitched. I want to look at both the starts here to give you. Hasn't been great, but again, I've only seen 2 starts, and he hasn't really gone deep in either one of them. So, but in the Baltimore start here, He went 3 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, struck out 2, walked a batter. So not great, but again, got pulled a little early. He probably only pitches 4 innings, actually. I think they were going to go get him after 4 because if I can look at how many pitches he threw, 79 pitches. So yeah, they weren't going to let him go much further, probably. First big league start, drafted last year. So, but yeah, they were going to go get him after 4. Couldn't get the final out there. Dubin came in and finished it out. But yeah, not a whole lot to look at that start. And then he starts Thursday against Miami after going on the IL, getting a rehab start, I believe. Shoulder inflammation. That was actually one of the few accurate injury reports the Astros give you. This start, let's see. Let's switch to the Astros here. So he goes a full 4 this game. Again, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, struck out 4, walked a batter. So a little better, actually. But in 2 starts, again, he's going to be a 5th guy that they turn to every 5th day until the rotation gets healthy, if it ever does. But, yeah, I mean, I can't make a whole lot of Jake Bloss after 2 starts other than he gives up 2 runs. So hasn't been great, but hasn't been bad. And again, it's just too small sample size. But he's back in the rotation. Now, you can sort of reset things since the Astros have 4 days off. You can sort of reset your rotation. I don't know if they've announced it. It's actually interesting to look at here. So I'll pull up to see if the Astros. I guess they haven't announced anything yet. So I'd imagine Fromber gets the start of the All-Star break would be my guess. And then from there, I mean, really, where do you go from there? It's I mean, Blanco will be in there somewhere. Hunter Brown might get the start. He might be starting Saturday, for all I know. Hunter Brown could be in there. Of course, Arrighetti and then Bloss. That's your 5 guys. Fromber, Hunter Brown, Ronel Blanco, Spencer Arrighetti, and Jake Bloss is your 5-man rotation. It's crazy to think about Arrighetti. Now, Fromber and Hunter Brown, yes. But Arrighetti, no way, no how. Ronel Blanco was a fringe 5th starter. They were going to see what they got out of him. And then, yeah. And Jake Bloss. So 3 of the 5 guys, not really guys you'd ever think you'd be really counting on this year. In fact, I didn't know who Spencer Arrighetti was before spring training, and nobody knew who Jake Bloss was, unless you paid really close attention to last year's draft. Didn't pay the actual draft this year. The 2024 draft was just last Sunday. Now, I can't really go into that because I don't know these pitchers, and I didn't keep track of all of the players the Astros drafted, so I can't really get into that. But the Marlins series, just to recap the week real quick, and again, I'm not going to go game by game like I used to, but pretty good offense, pitching. It all seemed to go pretty well for the team. Nothing super. I mean, Brian Abreu, again, still scares me. Just because, I mean, yeah, he was a guy I sort of felt like I could rely on for a little bit there, and now he's hit a rough patch, allowed runs in 3 of his last 4. Hader's good in terms of saves, but he's not good at 2 things. One, he walks people. Well, sort of. He falls behind counts, I feel like, quite often, and he just can't keep the ball in the ballpark. So Hader, he's not worth what he's getting paid. And again, they have him for 5 more years. He is a guy that needs to be talked about because Hader just has not been shut down, locked down Hader that you expect. He hasn't been. I mean, he's good in his save opportunities. He's like or 16 of 17, whatever it might be, 17 of 18. But he doesn't pitch in a lot of games where they're up 1 run. It's like, all right, go out there, strike out the side, or give me 2 strikeouts, 1, 2, 3. It's never that easy for him. And a lot of his saves, it just feels like, I could be wrong here, but I don't think I am. A lot of his saves come where they're up 2, 3 runs where he's got a little cushion. So, yeah, he needs to pick things up in the second half. It needs to all be better with him. There was I've talked about this last week. There's pockets of goodness with all these relievers. Presley right now is on a 12 game, runless, hasn't allowed a run in his last 12, 13 outing streak. So maybe this is his pocket of good, or I hope he can keep it going. But again, I'm not convinced on Presley quite yet. I'm just not there. I'm not going to do it. I can't be convinced with Hader or Abreu. So bullpen issues all around, really. I mean, again, I'm not going to tear the bullpen down. I don't know where they're at in terms of major league ranks. In terms of ERA is a pretty decent, easy stat I look at. Hader's got his fair share of strikeouts. If I just look, I want to just look at his numbers here to give you when he pitched last here. I think it was Friday. So let me get you Hader's stats just to tell you what I'm talking about here. So he got the save, but again, it was a 6-3 game. It's not like he was in high leverage, dude. You can't have no margin of error. ERA is too high, 3.86. That's too high. But 67 strikeouts in 42 innings, that's a pretty good number. But the ERA is too high. He's lost 5 games. He's allowed 8 home runs this year. That's too much for a closer. Halfway through the season, that's way too much for a closer. So he's got to be, again, if the Astros can get to the postseason, big if, they can get in, he's going to be a guy they need to rely on, and not just to pitch the ninth, but possibly multiple innings. He needs to be that guy. So he's got the second half to really figure things out, be more consistent, but we'll wait and see. And you're going to hope. Abreu just never seems to. Brian Abreu, even in outings where he doesn't give up runs, he's always putting people on base, whether he walks, gives up hits. He's given up runs in 3 of his last 4 outings, and he just never makes things easy. He never does. It's never a 1-2-3 with him, ever, I feel like. Presley's been the one guy that, at least if I'm playing recency bias, he's been the best guy in that bullpen the last month or whatever it's been. So, kind of also interesting, spotted on Saturday. Now, understandably, they had pitched in, I hate this whole, and I've talked about this numerous times, hate the whole 2-game rule with these relievers. If you go back-to-back, you cannot go 3 straight days. You just can't do it. Also, if you go 3 days and 4 days, you pitch 3 and 4 games, you're unavailable the next. I mean, the way they baby these relievers just is amazing to me. But that's just how it is. Dusty did it. AJ Hinch did it. AJ Hinch did it undoubtedly. But Dusty did it, and Espada's doing it as well. So I just had to live with it. Sunday was the weird game, because Sunday, you got a chance to win that game. Now, the offense really blamed for both those losses on Saturday and Sunday. I mean, again, when the Astros lose games and they're scoring little runs, it's not that they don't have opportunities. They have plenty of opportunities. They just don't hit. Timely hitting has been a big issue for the Astros all year. I mean, I think they lead baseball. Their batting average is like the best in all of baseball. But go look at their average with runners in scoring position. It's probably one of the worst in all of baseball. I think they also lead baseball with runners left on base, because they're not. Yeah, I mean, it goes hand in hand. If you can't hit with runners in scoring position, you're also leaving runners on base. So, yeah, issues there. Pitching, all things considered, held up all year so far to this point, with all the injuries. I mean, you went into the season, obviously, knowing that, Luis Garcia, Lance McCullers were not going to be ready, and you're hoping to get them probably around the All-Star break, which we're at now. McCullers will not pitch this year. He's been shut down. Surprise, surprise. That's really no surprise there. I wasn't convinced he was ever going to pitch. Garcia, I think, has suffered weird thing with him. So he had a few rehab starts. Second one was really bad. Not that that matters. I don't care about your stats with rehab starts. I care about how you feel after those starts. But he sort of got, I don't know what happened with Luis Garcia, but he, some weird reason. After the second start, he was supposed to come back and pitch in a bullpen or pitch I don't know, a simulated game, whatever it was, and he didn't. And I guess he warmed up off, not throwing off a mat. I don't know if he got pushed back or what happened. I think they weren't happy with how he felt after the second. I don't know, but it'll be longer for I'm just probably September for Luis Garcia at this point. McCullers won't pitch. I'm also very concerned now about Justin Verlander because this is a guy. I think Dana Brown got interviewed today. I might go back and listen to that interview on the morning show here, but Justin Verlander, who apparently had a stick or neck discomfort. I'll say neck discomfort, the Astros' favorite word when it comes to injuries in the world, discomfort. It's been out a month, and there's been no update. He's not really throwing. I think he's throwing a little bit, not off a mound, but he's still throwing. I'm not convinced. I almost think Verlander might be done for the year. Because when I don't hear anything, and the way the Astros handle injuries, letting the public know what's up, I'm concerned with Verlander. I think we might not see him again this year. I mean, I'm at that point. I just don't know with him. And again, and even when the Astros talk, like Joe Spada also bothers me with this, because I listen to that Matt Thomas show because the Spada gets interviewed once a week, and he's asked about injuries, all these guys, and all he starts the answer the same way. It's like, how's Luis Garcia doing? How's Kyle Tucker doing? He's doing good. Every single response starts that way. Like, I need more than he's doing good. Tell me how far he is away. Tell me what he's doing. Well, I mean, and it might give you a little something, but it's never. I just wish the Astros would just. Why are we so secretive, and why are we so misleading and so stupid when it comes to just telling us what's up with injuries? Why is that so hard? Other teams don't do this. Anyway, I'm not going to go on a bigger rant, but yeah, I'm not convinced we'll see Verlander in a very long time. And again, he's not. I mean, he's not getting 140 innings, no way, no how. So he won't be here next year because they're not going to re-sign him. There's no reason to, unless it's super cheap. Only way they'd re-sign him, big time discount would have to be for him to come back next year. But again, yeah, Garcia, I'd expect September. McCullers won't be here. But again, you knew McCullers and Garcia going into the year. Verlander had the hiccup, pitched for a little while, then got hurt again. Javier out for the year. Tommy John. Urquidy out for the year. Tommy John. I mean, you go up and down the line. I mean, Valdez missed some time. Hunter Brown's actually been the one guy in the rotation. Him and Ronel Blanco, I feel like, that have actually been here all year. Only two. Because Valdez has missed time. Bloss just came up. Eric Getty came in like a month or two after the season started. I'm forgetting one. I always forget one of these guys. But Fromber, Hunter Brown, Eric Getty, Ronel Blanco, Jake Bloss. I named about everybody, but yeah. Blanco and Hunter Brown, only two guys that have stayed in the rotation actually consistently this year. And yeah, we'll see. That's all I can say. Now to move quickly, I want to talk about these whole All-Star Game. I've lost all interest. Home Run Derby, I watched actually more probably the Home Run Derby than I did the All-Star Game. Like the All-Star Game yesterday, I watched like the first 6-7 innings, and I literally went upstairs to play a video game because I just couldn't watch anymore because I had zero interest in the All-Star Game. I also don't like the fact that they don't wear their team uniform anymore. So some of these players, because, I don't know, but I'd like them to wear they go back to the way things used to be, not with just the All-Star Game, but yes, first the All-Star Game. Let them wear their team jerseys. Let them represent their team. Why are we changing that? Now half these players, I don't know who they are because they can't wear their team jersey. And you should know the All-Stars, but new guys get introduced, like the Red Sox guy, Duran. They said Duran. I'm thinking Ezekiel Duran of the Texas Rangers. But no, Duran on the Red Sox had a home run yesterday. Now, Ohtani had a home run. I know most of them, but still, I'd rather you wear your team jersey, make things a little easier for everybody to understand. And it just was better that way. So I don't like now that they invented a new All-Star jersey you have to wear. Stupid. Home Run Derby, go back to 10 outs. This whole timing thing is stupid now. And you took, the joy of the Home Run Derby, and, the whole point of the Home Run Derby was to see, first of all, the field, the players participating in it, not interested in any of those guys, to be quite honest with you. None of those guys are the Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Yordan Alvarez. Now, they have the right. I don't care if you want to do the home run derby or don't want to do it. I have no issue with that. In fact, I don't want Alvarez anywhere near the home run derby with his injury past. I don't want him potentially doing anything in the home run derby. So I'm okay with that. But people like Stanton, who way back, he's been hurt so many times, but he was one of those big bopper, long, deep, moonshot home runs. Stanton was. Also Aaron Judge is that. They participated and they've won. So they've done, I mean, that's all they needed to do was go and win. They both won one. So I'm not going to blame them for that, but it's just, yeah, I mean, I don't think baseball will ever be as bad as basketball's gone way downhill with their slam dunk three-point shootout all-star game they do. And football's always been just a complete joke, the Pro Bowl. And one of the issues I have there is they play a week, the week off in between the Super Bowl and the AFC and NFC championship games. So all players in the Super Bowl are not going to play in the Pro Bowl, of course. But you schedule it that way. So, yeah. They're all bad. They're all bad, and baseball continues to just be disinteresting, and it's just, yeah. I don't, you know. You need every team needs a break in the middle. In football, you get your buys. That's sort of your break. Basketball is the All-Star break. Baseball All-Star break. So you need a break in between. I understand that. It's just the stuff they do in between for all sports now is just it's meaningless and it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, they took away the whole rule. You know, the MLB All-Star game used to mean something. It was the winning team won home field advantage in the World Series. That was done away a few years ago. Not that that mattered a whole lot. I felt like even when it was still in play, but yeah. Focused more on a few players actually this week than actually the team itself. But the team, yeah, 4-2. I'm not mad about that. I'm mad about the way things turned out. Again, they did the same thing last week too. If you remember, they lost Saturday and Sunday. I really did the podcast last Sunday, and then I put everything away, and I was full 24/7 or next 24-hour on just about the storm. The storm came through. Storm did some damage. We were lucky. A lot of people lost power. Big issue with center point. We only lost power for about 6 hours, so we were the lucky ones. But Hurricane Beryl did do some damage more than expected, especially from a Cat 1 hurricane. With all the tree damage, a lot of trees uprooted, fences down, and power was the big thing. I mean, more than 2 million people lost power, but we were lucky on that front, only losing it for 6 hours. But that's what I did last week, and then off day Monday, swept the Marlins. That was good. And then, yeah, losing 2 or 3 to the Rangers was not good. So, anyway, we start games Friday. Big series. Mariners still 1 game back in the division, by the way. So you'll play 3 there. Then we go to Oakland. Yeah, play the A's for 3 before coming home. I think we host the Dodgers after that. Look at the schedule correctly here. Yeah, host the Dodgers after that. Pirates, Tampa Bay, Texas again, as I mentioned. And then we'll have our trip to Boston. That second weekend in August. So, yeah. But again, got to continue just to go out there, try to win series, try to win games. 50-46, that's not terrible considering where we were just, a month ago. So, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Can't be too upset. But, yeah, we'll wrap things up there. We'll talk to you. Let's see here. Get you a correct date on when I'll talk to you next. It's probably going to be either Monday afternoon. Astros play a night West Coast swing here. 3 o'clock game this Sunday though, so usually I don't do that at work because that just gets too late. So probably either late Sunday night or Monday afternoon around this time. But we'll do that. I'll wrap things up there. We'll talk to you next week.